Hello everyone, welcome back to Skybite Studios, and in this video we're going to be doing the review of Studio Series Devastator. This is him completely transformed. I'm not going to be showing the transformation in this video. I did it in my previous video. You could check that one out. The link will be in the description. But anyways, pretty much after 2 years of waiting and getting the individual figures, here we have Devastator finally completed. Overload was the final piece to get, and he is the lower torso section, so he is actually the one that kind of quite literally put everything together. But there you have Devastator, and I might be holding him pretty frequently in this video because he does have a hard time standing, so it was lucky that I even got him to stand at the beginning of the video and right down. But yeah, there you go. That's pretty much already a downside of this figure. It's pretty wobbly. All the joints are, for the most part, they're stiff, but then like on my feet, especially with Rampage here, it's like really flimsy, so he won't be able to hold up much of Devastator's weight like well or any at all. But there he is. On certain times you could get him to stand, but he'll be standing against the wall with my display case. But let's take a look at the detail. You can see there's the face of Devastator, and it is kind of small compared to the rest of his body, but that's a given because that's just transformed from Mix Masters, pretty much spare spots and spare space that he has for Devastator's head. But there you go. And then this section doesn't really lock anywhere, it just kind of like floats around. It doesn't like remove easily, but it's there, floats around a bit. And let's take a look at like the back section here, so you can see from Scavenger you have this transforming that vacuum section, and then I know that there is a way to transform him or manipulate him into a way where he could be standing on all fours. I haven't learned to do that yet, but I feel like I will because he's just not willing to stand whenever I want him to. But anyways, we'll get into the articulation. There's actually quite a bit on him. So with the arms, you can move them with this joint if you want, but it won't stay up. You can kind of like position overloads pieces there if you want to kind of hold that arm up, and it works there up for a bit. But then you could also use this joint that, oops, reattach that. You can use this joint that's part of Scavenger, and that'll hold it up a little bit better. So that one's a strong stiff joint, and then you kind of have this like bicep rotation there as well. And then of course you have the finger articulation here, so these can move pretty much the same articulation you might find on Scrapper himself, and it's similar articulation on this side, except you have one extra finger here because it's formed from two different robots. But there you go. Again, you have this rotation here, and then you kind of have an elbow that goes inward, just like that. But then you can manipulate it. Since this bends, you can have it bend that way if you so choose. But there you go. Wrist articulation, I guess, if you count that as wrist articulation for him, but not so much for Scrapper. And the head in its official form doesn't really have any articulation other than the mouth here. It does open and close all the way, so it doesn't turn or anything. It can look up in that fourth unofficial mode, but again, not in this official mode. You can't do that. For the legs, it has outward movement, but you're not really going to use that because you're going to be more concerned about his standing, and then it goes forward a pretty far amount, and then it goes back that far. So you actually get good range of motion. It's just a shame he's not that posable. For knees, I don't think he has knees, but then how Overload is transformed, he kind of has a hunch there, so it kind of adds like a little bit more of a pose to him. And then you have the ankle rockers here, of course. So on long haul, it's loose. Let's see how. And Rampage is a little firmer because it has that ratchet, but then for again long haul on mine, it's really loose. So adds to the unable to stand part of this figure. And then you have this up and down movement there on the ankles as well for both of them. All right, now we're gonna go into the size comparison. So here I have a Studio Series Voyager Optimus Prime. This is the movie one version, so you can see it does scale quite considerably to a Voyager class figure, but I do feel like he should be a little taller, or Optimus should be a little smaller for that scale to work. And then bringing out another Voyager figure here, we have Revenge of the Fallen Megatron next to him. And yeah, there you go. And then we're going to bring out actually a bigger size figure here. We have a version of Masterpiece Optimus Prime, so you can have a scale of how he is with the Masterpiece line. He is still bigger, but at the head it's not that much of a size difference, maybe half of Optimus taller that Devastator is. But there you can see, and for fun, I'm actually gonna take it out of this glass case. Here we have a Sam Witwicky holding an Allspark next to Devastator. So actually, compared to that scale actually looks really good. This is the one that comes with Masterpiece Jazz. But there you can see him running away with the Allspark, even though the continuity doesn't really make sense with him having the Allspark and Devastator being around. Right, pretty much more on Devastator itself. For those of you who don't know, there's actually going to be a repaint of Rampage coming out. His name is Skipjack. He's essentially the yellow version. They're going to be the same mold, but it's actually going to be more accurate having the Skipjack version of this, because Devastator's leg, this leg is yellow in the film, and it's definitely going to match better with this piece, this where you store scrap metal shield. So this looking yellow, it's going to actually look a little bit more complete, and I feel like the coloring is going to be a little bit more balanced, because for the most part his limbs are yellow with the exception of long haul, so it's going to help break up the color a little bit. So I'm definitely going to be looking into getting that one, and then I'm just going to have Rampage off to the side here, just displayed by himself, because he wasn't a part of Devastator. He was in that fight against Bumblebee with Sam's parents in Revenge of the Fallen. Alright, we're pretty much going to take another closer look at Devastator. We already took a look at his head. Let's take a close look at all the detail that you have on him now. Pretty much how the parts kind of like mesh together on him. So it's pretty much the same detail that came from the individual Transformer figures, but all together it looks like one big mess that works out for the most part, because Devastator is a messy looking character to begin with. So you can see there is like that nice hunch that he has to him as a result of how Mixmaster combines into Scavenger. And then here we have all of that section. So if you want, you could, I guess, add some wrecking balls here so it's a little bit more movie accurate. And then on this side, there you can see he does have that bulkiness to him, so he definitely has that shelf presence. But like I mentioned earlier, I need to find a way to like get him to stand a little more consistently, because even when he does stand, as you can see, there's a lot of wobble to this figure. But overall, despite like the problems, I still enjoy Studio Series Devastator. It's, like I said, it's been a 2-year waiting process, so I'm happy that it's here. And it doesn't really disappoint despite everything, because it's what I expected. Especially since these figures are triple changes, and I know there's a third-party figure of Devastator coming out, but we'll see if that actually comes to fruition, because I know Hasbro is cracking down on those third-party Transformer makers a little harder now, but that one definitely looks a little bit more movie accurate. I believe it's called Devil's Savior, but that's going to be a lot bigger than this, and like I said, more movie accurate. We'll see how that one turns out, but this is definitely good, especially coming from Hasbro, so this will definitely do for now. And that's pretty much it for this review. If you have any questions about this figure, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Hopefully I'll see it. If I don't, hopefully someone else will be able to help you guys out that sees your comment. And as always, if you like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe for future videos from Skybyte Studios on YouTube. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.